Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Man, We're Too Old for This, here on the Nerd Eternal Network. I'm your host, the experienced some call Jason, and with me today is...
Token Millennial, Tarky.
The Godfather.
CDO-113, the droid you're looking for.
I didn't know droids could sound hoarse.
Just some sinus drainage.
It's all. I noticed he was just a token millennial. He's never just a token millennial.
I caught that too. I guess his brain ain't firing on all cylinders this
Well,
morning.
someone said I need to use the catchphrase more.
Oh yeah. You don't have merch yet though, so.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
And anyway, today we're going to be talking about DC's new Linearverse, which is something that has cropped up in... Let's see, was it Infinite Frontier Zero? No, it was Generations Forge #1.
Yay.
Yeah, just reading it's like, hey, there's an extra universe in this big list of universes we have.
But everybody is writing articles about this one.
Yep.
So anyway, the gist... Well, and before we go any further, there will be spoilers for some upcoming stuff on this. Both the Generation Forge #1 comic and... If they're numbering it, I assume there's going to be a #2, so if it's an ongoing thing.
Let me guess. Agatha was behind all of it.
That would be between Marvel and DC. I don't know. Anyway, so one of their new big concepts is the Omniverse, which how that's different from the old Multiverse, I don't know. But they brought that into continuity with the Dark Knight Death Metal series they did. In March, you've got Infinity Frontier starting up, which is apparently also going to play around with it. But this past Tuesday, I believe it was, is where they dropped the Linearverse stuff. And the Linearverse is basically a world where Batman and Superman have been running around since the 30s, but haven't got any older. And neither has anybody else. The story involved Wave Rider, a time-traveling hero, gathering miscellaneous heroes from different worlds. Or at least different time periods.
Basically their version of Marvel's, what was that? Avengers Forever?
Yeah. And at the end of the story, when he's dropping the Batman back off, he'd apparently commented on Batman's world being special at one point. And when Batman asks him about it, he goes into the whole explanation on how we call it the Linearverse and how everybody there ages so slowly. And it's basically rookie Batman because he's still running around in like the purple gloves.
Yep. 1940s Batman.
I'm not even sure if he kept purple gloves into the... No, that's right, because Batman popped up in... Yeah, you're right. It was Superman that technically popped up in the 30s. But my question about this is really just why are they making such a big deal about it when it's just another world in the multiverse?
Yeah, it's not like they're rewriting the history again and making this like the official canon. This is what we're going with from now on. It's just like, hey, here's a tool in the bag for writers to like, hey, if you want to write a story about Batman and Superman talking about being best buds for 80 years, here you go. And that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they really never had a problem with dropping them into World War II and all that kind of crap before, so.
Well, it's like they suddenly said, oh no, we need to have an explanation. And our 17 last explanations that didn't make sense. Well, what if we just make it a whole nother universe so that we don't have to explain it? Oh my gosh, that's fucking genius. Do it. And they just did it.
Instead of simply going, it's an else world. Something they've had established for how long now?
Well, even the else worlds are always just other parts of the multiverse.
Yeah. maybe this whole thing's come along because they decided that 50, because wasn't the last time they had a multiverse, but it was 52 of them, so they decided 52 wasn't enough, so now it's an omniverse, and that's
Well, it was more than 52 because there was 52, and then on the back side of the map was the dark multiverse.
That's
Oh,
what they
yeah,
brought
that
in dark middles. You had the 52 dark universes or some such.
Yeah.
that is right. So 104 universes wasn't enough.
Apparently not.
They only really used 7 of them.
I want the universe where Superman was a carrot. A super carrot? No, just a carrot. Yeah, anthropomorphized carrot? No.
I'm sure it's out there.
They had the Justice Garden. What?
I'm sitting here thinking. Now I'm going to use a supernatural reference here. In the last season of Supernatural, you find out Chuck, aka God, had been going through, and he had created different worlds. And like on one, Sam and Dean were his favorite 2 characters. On another, it was a world where it was populated by squirrels. And then on one, it was by fish. So it's like, okay, DC, somebody at DC was watching Supernatural and go, oh, what we'll do. Jeez.
Well, likely the other way around. DC's had dumb universes for my whole life.
Yeah, that's
Captain
true.
Carrot and the Zoo Crew.
Yeah.
Though that was aimed at like little kids, meant to be cartoony. But
Yeah. Fact of the matter is.
But yeah, in a lot of ways, this just seems to be expanding on, what was it? I guess it was the 60s when they really started the multiverse. When they did Flash of Two Worlds in 61.
Yeah.
Which introduced the current Flash, well, at the time, Barry Allen, to his 40s counterpart.
Now, I don't want anybody to get me wrong. I love this. But, like, it's not important. I just love it. Because I love linear stories.
Mm-hmm.
I like a story having a start and a finish in a straight line. You can just read it through and go, this is the entire thing. Now, obviously, it's not going to have like a finish because it's comics.
Mm-hmm.
But being able to just be like, yeah, no part of this, you don't have to skip over anything. Everything exists. I like that because that's just how I like my stories to be.
Well, it means no matter how they reboot other stuff, you'll know this world's running around where all them stories happened.
Right. There'll always be that little anchor of like, don't worry, we retconned it out of this universe, but there's still a line where that's important, where this happened.
And in this universe, we don't have to explain why they're still around from the 40s. No. Now you just have the unexplained thing of why hasn't, the economy's collapsed under the huge population.
Yeah.
Well, DC's Earth was always like bigger.
Yeah.
Like when they compared, when you had to cross over with Marvel, yeah, their Earth was bigger. So yeah,
That's why it had so many bigger cities.
So that's not all that weird. My thing is, in that universe, my God, must take forever to get old enough to drink.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the
347 years old, man. Let me get a drink.
Babies age like Grogu.
Yeah, like Baby Yoda. This motherfucker's 40 years old. I'm still changing his diapers. Twos last 30 years.
Yeah. By their math, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Delano Roosevelt, it's still alive. It's be like, damn it, I don't like Trump. Why can't I get reelected?
Yeah, if they were trying to write explanations to problems that really weren't problems, but if they were trying to write explanations to problems, they really caused as many as they fixed for that.
Oh yeah, but like since it's just another side dimension, you don't have to explain shit.
Yeah, that is very true. When I first heard about this,
like,
I thought it was the new retcon for the stuff, but then reading through it, I'm like, it's so important. Why do 50 websites? Why are 50 websites taking the time to try to sit down and explain it?
Honestly, because you can't talk about WandaVision. They're doing it for the same reason we're doing it, because we can't talk about WandaVision.
Because we won't name names, but 2 people out of this show haven't watched it.
Well,
it's not me and it's not Todd, but hey.
And Danny throwing shade. I threw my shade early. But no, that's the thing is, I guess that somebody went, I don't want to talk about Gina Carano, and I don't want to talk about WandaVision. What else we got? And they got a new universe in DC where Motherfuckers don't age. Sweet, we'll go with that. And everybody's gone with it.
Well, I mean, like, as far as comics go, it is like just a sigh of relief kind of thing of just like, it's not dumb. It's something they're doing that's silly, but it's not dumb. Because you can just set it aside and just go, hey, it's a fun little side project. That's cool.
You know, the fact that they're going, okay, this one universe and only this universe, all that stuff happened.
Yeah, it's
Over
like,
here on this universe, only this happened.
Mhm.
Okay, I can live with that. When I first read this article, you know, my brain had not processed all this. I'm like, wait a minute, this sounds like some of the dumbest crap I've ever heard of. And then I think it was you that made the comment, it's only happening here. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, and truthfully, the article I'm looking at, which, like I said, there's a dozen or so out there. I mean, it specifies at the end that as of right now, DC's got no plans to tell any more stories set there particularly.
Yeah.
It's just going to be another universe out there that writers could dip into if they wanted to.
Yeah. No, because their main universe is going back to New 52. I mean, not New 52. It's going post crisis. Sorry.
oh, they are reverting all
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. The that new universe when it was the Infinite Frontier or whatever. Yeah, it's the post crisis one.
But like, I'm glad with the Linearverse also that they've just finally acknowledged, hey, we're too big to try to retcon and fit all this in one go to try to make it like resolve correctly and make it as big as it is. So let's just say, we're just put it to the side.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, it's Marvel. It's them, I guess, almost trying to become more like Marvel, because Marvel never did the whole crisis thing or something like that. It was everything is always just kind of pushed up. When stuff gets too old, it gets pushed up. You know, Reed Richards and Ben Grimm, once upon a time, were in World War II. And that it kept getting pushed up. I think the last time I read it, they were in Iraq. So they just Marvel just didn't tend to make a big deal out of it. They just go, everybody's been a hero, other than Captain America. Everybody's been a hero about 5 to 6 years, no matter when you're reading this.
And then a lot of times they just wouldn't give you ages, unless you were one of the teen heroes, they wouldn't give ages. I remember an X-Men book where Cyclops says something about being in his 20s. And it caused a kerfluffle because everybody in the letter page is like, wait a second. That don't make no sense just based on how much Jubilee is aged next to him, But that was one writer that, didn't give it the program kind of thing.
Yep. Beating appropriately about the head and shoulders with a dead squirrel for his impudence. We don't mention ages.
Right, but like the Linearverse just disregards the need to even do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it feels like a cop out in like on paper, but also like it's just something you need to do at this point. Like it's just something like it's a problem that you could not avoid. So
I would argue you don't need to do it because Marvel's method works just fine.
Yeah, that absolutely shows that you don't need to do it because Marvel's been doing it. You read Spider-Man. Spider-Man's been Spider-Man for about 5 years, if it ever comes up.
What I'm wondering, truthfully, because, a while back, Marvel did that book that it covered Spider-Man actually aging like normal.
Yep. Yeah.
Then I'm kind of wondering if that's what inspired this. Just without the aging part. But still, where, their history goes back to, the 60s or 40s or whatever, and marches, through modern history.
There's nothing wrong with one way or the other, And it's one of those kind of things that you might see it again, but you probably won't, because if you did, then that's going to give you another kind of crisis, because that's DC's thing. Every time they do something to fix their problem, they make 20 new problems.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you've had so many crises, because it's fucked up. Yeah, we'll have a crisis. The crisis creates, 11 new plot holes that later on you got to have a crisis to try and fill, which creates another 12 plot holes.
Well, when they went, when they went from post crisis, when they went through 0 Hour, that fixed a lot of stuff because it wasn't, in a lot of ways, it wasn't a total reboot. It was more of a tweaking.
Yeah, that's true. But then but the one character that they kind of screwed up in 0 Hour was Batman.
I don't recall.
0 Hour. Yeah, 0 Hour for Batman got rid of Joe Chill. Which then flies completely in the face of Batman Year 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because that was the big something out of Batman in 0 Hour was you find out that he didn't really know who killed his parents.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah. Like I said, every time they do one of them, somebody will tweak something and it'll screw it up. That's the reason why you got 5011 Hawkman. Because every time they had a crisis, one of the two characters that they tried to fix was Aquaman and Hawkman. Hawkman especially. Well, he's a Thanagarian cop from ancient Egypt. Oh, he's,
Well, they were trying to retcon the original Hawkman that did the whole reincarnated Egyptian thing.
Yep.
And the sci-fi, alien Hawkman that was the redo they did in the 60s. And I think they eventually just settled on, he reincarnates, and that time he reincarnated as a Thanagarian or something. I don't know.
Yep. Yeah, that's how they finally fixed him. It was like, all those Hawkman incarnations happened. They just did kind of a Solomon Grundy with him.
Mm-hmm.
Because, that's how they explain why Grundy's different in different stories. It's like, he dies and he reincarnates and he's still Solomon Grundy, but sometimes he's smart, sometimes he's stupid, sometimes he's more evil, sometimes he's a good guy.
Yeah. I remember the 0 Hour, they merged. Did they merge all the Hawk people and like the Hawk God or something? And he was supposed to be so much stouter, but he was still just Hawkman. Because it's a character nobody cares about anymore.
They keep waiting for him to have his Aquaman moment. Maybe he'll have Black Adam at last. They really want Hawkman to have his Aquaman moment.
The problem is, in the books, maybe they could pull that off. Because I'd take Hawkman over, Marvel's Angel. But if you try to move, like, Aquaman's got a little boost lately because of the movies.
Aquaman's going to be in Black Adam.
Yeah. Winged characters are so hard to do and make them look right in live action stuff that even with good effects, it's going to be, I don't think it's going to work that well.
Just wait, you'll come out of Black Adam and go, God damn, Hawkman's the coolest motherfucker.
Hey, they could surprise me. And I'd be delighted if they did.
If they just make it more like Archangel. Hell, that's what they did for Aquaman. We keep trying to make him more like Submariner. Shit, we got to make him more like Black Panther too. We put Submariner in the Black Panther movie and called it Aquaman. People might finally like this shit. And they did.
Maybe that's just the awesome acting chops of Momoa.
It's the first movie I've ever seen Jason Momoa in that did flop.
So at least there's that.
I was just glad he rode the seahorse.
That was Jason. Jason was like, I just wanted to see crazy shit under the sea.
Hey, that was the ocean that I imagined as a child.
Yeah, you and me both.
And I admire the way they were able to put together bits and pieces of the Aquaman mythos, going back to at least the 60s, all the way up to the New 52.
Yeah.
I was upset that the man never rode a jet ski, proving the pointlessness of Aquaman.
Okay, they did leave the Super Friends, portion of him out, I guess.
But honestly, that was no great loss.
Superpowers, he can swim, and what does he do? He rides a jet ski. But it's I've seen worse from DC. It'd probably be fun.
The way they're doing this, it's not exactly the same, but it kind of reminds me of how they did in the Arrowverse when they had their crisis. Anyone who fought and went through it remembered all the different variation incarnations of the stuff. And they could use a gadget and say, oh, here, we're going to unlock your memories. But everybody else, they had no recollection of it. Because all the ones that traveled to the different worlds, they and had access to that knowledge is like, oh, yeah, you got a TV verse over here where such and such happened. You got a TV verse over here where this happened. Oh, they all happened in simultaneously? Cool, But
well, in the original
average...
Crisis, like the speedsters tended to remember a good bit. But from what I've been hearing, this is a spoiler for the first episode of Superman and Lois, if anybody cares. But the villain in that is a Lex Luthor that survived his universe getting destroyed. So he hates Superman, and Superman ain't got a clue who he is.
Yeah, black guy.
I hadn't watched it yet.
No, probably should have. Black guy.
I have no problem with that.
You did not see that. Hell, I didn't watch the show. I was just online, and it was people. God damn it! I'm enraged. Why? What did they do? Lex Luthor was a black guy. And then you hear the explanation when he's from an alternate universe.
Being from an alternate universe didn't help Spider-Man being black. Not take the heat. Ain't gonna help.
It's the real Lex Luthor to show it. Well, it is a real one. Fuck off!
Well, it's as real as any of them, anyway.
Because my response on there was like, oh, so he finally looks like Clancy Brown sounded. It works for me. Who in the hell cares? It's CW.
Yeah, that's kind of the big thing.
Yeah,
Though I intended to check it out just because I like that dude as Superman.
Yeah, they had him in a Fleischer suit, which has me almost tempted to go on the CW app and watch it. Just because I think it's kind of neat that he's in that suit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because he's in that suit and you got the old style car behind him. I don't know if they actually do the scene, because the last time they attempted that scene in a live action thing, the rest of the movie sucked. I remember that Superman Returns, they actually have him holding the car. And all that. Yeah. And it was like, oh god.
But though I'm wondering about time-wise where that show places the rest of the CW stuff. Because his kid was just being born, around the Crisis, I think, and now he's got, now he's up, good and grown, and there may be two of them.
There are two of them. Yeah, he's got two of them.
Yeah, they at the tail end of the Crisis stuff on the TV show, Lois calls him and says, "Hey, are you going to be home for dinner? The boys want to see you." And he went, "The boys? Yeah, your sons, both of them."
Oh, okay. So the Crisis shifted time around a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. But he still knew about Kara. He still knew about Green Arrow. He still knew about all that stuff on the TV show. So
that's fucked up, because the perfect explanation for that was going to be my damn it, Barry.
Well, yeah, it was still damn it, Barry, because Barry, when he absorbed the Spectre's power on the show to, basically do the reset for everything. Yeah, some areas ended up like a flashpoint.
Yeah.
And that was one of them.
Damn it, Barry. Child support, I got you.
So anyway, I think we've covered the Linearverse in a nutshell. Now we're veering off into other stuff, but
yeah. When I first read that article, I was like, "What kind of?" And then when Taylor, whichever comment he made, it's like it clicked and went.
Yeah, I read a couple of articles where I really got, because I was going into it assuming, well, this must be something important if so many people are doing articles on it, and it's not. It's just a neat little something they've done.
Yes, and it's just a nice, convenient little thing. They could just go, "Oh, whoops! I accidentally wrote him talking about stuff they did in World War II by accident."
But it means the next time Batman needs to retrain, or he's got a new sidekick and he needs to send him off to train, they need to send him to this world where you've got an 80-year-old Batman with 80 years of experience to do all the training.
Yeah,
because that should be the best Batman to have in a fight, because he's been fighting a long time, and he's been fighting people that have been fighting a long time.
Yeah, I think all the things were really just an excuse for the artist to draw multiple versions of Superman and Batman. Because there's some of the articles, like this one's got a Superman. Yeah, you got some where it's like multiple Batman.
Mm-hmm. Got to keep that copyright fresh.
Yeah.
But that's like any big movie studio or book series, got to bring them characters back.
Yeah,
keep that copyright going.
Sit there and look at that one and go, okay, there's achy breaky Superman, and then he went through his kind of millennial emo phase, and anyway.
Yeah.
well, I'm 80 years old. I got bored, and I'm not even human, so I don't age normally. No way. I will be here forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in some other article, DC has essentially stated that Superman's immortal or some such. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's another conversation for another time, though.
Yeah.
Anybody got any last thoughts on the Linearverse before we wrap up?
I don't know. Not on the Linearverse. I'm just gonna say, go to our Teespring account, buy shirts.
Booster Gold has got to be an alcoholic in that world.
Yeah.
Because he's seen a lot of nonsense.
Maybe they have better drugs in the future and he can just blot most of it out. So anyway, if any of our listeners have got an opinion on this or anything else they'd like to talk to us about or questions they'd like to drop or comments they'd like to make, you can drop us a line at thenerdattornal@gmail.com. You can leave comments on our website under our YouTube video. I don't know if I don't guess there's a way to comment on the audio podcast, but like Todd said, we've got a shop. If you go to thenerdattornal.com in the navigation bar, there's a button that just says shop. And we've got a few t-shirts out. If you're a WandaVision fan, we've got one that we think is particularly nice. Or at least funny.
If I do say so myself, it is quite funny.
And, anything you buy there helps support the show. And, maybe we can upgrade our equipment at some point.
Please like, share, subscribe, hit the little like button and the bell. So anytime we post, which is always like once a week, you'll get your notifications. Anything you do helps us with the YouTube algorithm, and we need all the help we can get.
Yes. If you like us, leave a review on your, podcasting app of choice. The ones that let you leave reviews, at least. And I'm guessing that's it. So, hope y'all enjoyed it. We'll see y'all next week. I've been your host, the experience of some call Jason, and with me today has been
The token millennial turkey.
Sounded like that hurt him to say.
Using it twice in a row is just painful. Like I just want to be wacky and zany. And
well, you can always
shit.
start with the oddball one and then end with just the millennial or something,
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
I guess
you're
that'll be the play, I guess, from now on.
The format going forward.
I'm not trying to take away your creativity. We're just trying to sell shirts. I'm the Todd Father.
CDO113, the droid you're looking for.
And we will see y'all next week.
Caging a young boy for money. Can't believe you.
I figure out it was me all along anyway.